Hello there, welcome to We Are Crafted in His Image. It has been such a long time since I have done a video. I'm not sure if I remember how to do this. It has been crazy at my house over the last several months, and I thank you for your patience. And I am super excited to be back today and crafting with you. So we're gonna get started. We're doing today's Cocoa and Crafts class. This month our projects use the Flowing Flowers stamp set, which is so pretty. I love the fonts on here. I just think they're gorgeous. We are going to, let's see, this is what your kit comes with. You've got your stamp set. You have So Saffron, Soft Succulent, and Rich Raspberry inks. There are 3 sponge daubers in the kit, and there is a packet of hot cocoa, and of course our 4 projects that we're going to work on. So today we're going to work on number 1. So let me move a few things out of the way and we'll get started. This is the card that we're going to make and the envelope. And before I actually start on this, I have a brand new ink pad. My Rich Raspberry that I have been using is very, very old. It's actually one of our cloth ink pads that we had many years ago, and so I splurged and got myself a new pad. And before I use it, I wanted to show you, in case you have not, in case you have a new one and you've not done this before, I wanted to show you how to get it ready for use. And I need to find my pokey tool. I will use this one here. There we go. So on the back side, once you take the plastic wrap off of your ink pad, on the back side there are some stickers. Now this one here, you can, let me see if I need my little, there we go. Peel this off and it goes on the very front of your pad, and you just kind of stick it on there. Whoops. I know, I'm making this look harder than it should be. There we go, a little crooked. But then there are, of course you pick the language that you want. And there's one on the bottom here though that has nothing written on it, it's just blank. And this one is actually meant to go on the inside of your ink pad. And so it goes inside this little thumb groove, finger groove right down here. There we go. Oh, it helps if I have sticky side facing down. Oh my word. Told you, it's been a while here. Okay, static. Alright, that's enough. That's enough. Get down there. There we go. And I inked my finger, of course. This is like the perfect size for this. And there you go. And now when your ink pad is open and you have several dark colors, it's easier to tell which color is which. Lighter colors you don't have to worry about so much, but definitely with the darker colors it makes it easier to tell which one is which when you're inking if you have several of them open at once. So there you go. That's how you get your ink pad ready to roll. Let me put these away and we're going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to leave that open because that's the first color we're going to need. I'm going to go ahead and pull out. We've got our So Saffron base, which we won't need that right away. We have 2 envelopes. I don't think there's anything in the envelopes this time. And here we go. The rest of our papers. Now you've got 2 pieces of Rich Raspberry. Set those aside. And there are several pieces of white, and then there is some vellum here. So on the white you have different sizes. We have 1 larger piece. This is going to be our scrap for cutting out from. Then you have 2 larger pieces, well, medium size compared to that, and 2 smaller ones. The 2 small ones are the ones we're going to do for the outside, and the 2 larger ones are going to be on the inside. Now I didn't, on my sample, I didn't put anything on the inside of this one, but I gave you a card to put on the inside so that you have something white to write on the inside of your card. So those are for the inside. I'm going to set that aside. These we're going to stamp on for the outside, and we need to stamp on this, and of course, oh, and the envelopes as well. So we get those close to hand so they're ready to roll. I prefer to do like all my stamping with the same flower or the same stamp all at once. Now this is a red rubber stamp set, which means that it has the super sticky back to it. When you lift this up, excuse me, when you go to lift yours off of your backing, you want to make sure you get your fingernail underneath that sticker before you try to lift up. Don't just peel up or you're going to end up pulling the red rubber away from the foam, and you don't want to do that. So make sure you get underneath there before you lift. So we're using the big flower. We're going to start with that one. And on the, let me see, on this one here we want to stamp 2 flowers. Now the other thing is, because this is a brand new ink pad, I didn't have to do this with my older ink pad, but because this one is new, I may, what I may want to do, yep, I can tell by looking at it, is I'm going to take a sponge dauber and I'm just going to lightly go over and take some of the excess off of this, just because I know it's super inky, and this is one of our distinctive stamp sets, and sometimes that ink will get into all those little tiny details and then you lose some of the details when you stamp. So let's see how this comes out. Oh yeah, nice, 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 nice. I like that. Let's try again. We need 2 of these because we're making 2 cards. And once I've inked a few times, I won't necessarily have to do the sponge dauber part, but I know this is a brand new ink pad and it's very inky. And this is all we need. We just need 2 of these on here. So I'm going to set that aside because we're going to let that dry and then cut it out. And then on these, let me pull a different scrap paper in to go underneath, because I'm going to stamp off the edges. It should be okay. Let's see how it does. Now I'm going to stamp this. I'm going to do one right about here. There we go. Sorry, I'm losing stuff. Let's see how dark that's going to be. Stamp the second one. There. Oh, that's good. That's good. Okay, let's do that again. I like it. And one more over here. I have a piece of something. Dog fur, probably. There we go. Okay, so there is the front with that flower. Now we got to put a few on the envelope flaps. So to do that, let me rearrange this a little bit. Oh. There we go. What I'm going to do now, see how I made a little flap here? I'm going to put my envelope inside that. And now I can stamp some flowers and go off the edge. One here, one over here, and one over here. Okay, move that one out of the way. And let's get, oh, I just inked my envelope. This is harder for me to do when I'm videotaping because I try to keep everything within where you can see, and that doesn't give me much room to work. I'm a spread out kind of crafter. Oh, this color is so pretty. And one more over here. Okay, now I do want to go ahead and clean my stamp right away, especially since I'm using this deep, intense color. There we go. Get that cleaned up. And on to the next color, which will be, oh, actually, since I still have this color out, I do want to stamp these two. Let me scoot this aside. But this is going to use the, I'm making mine a thank you card. So there we go. Pull that off. Grab me a block. Now, vellum is a non-porous material, which means it's going to take a while for this to dry. It will dry, but it's going to take a little while. Now, if you want to speed that up, you can use a heat tool. The only problem with that is sometimes that will warp your vellum, which will make it so it doesn't lay flat on your card. Excuse me. But I'm just going to do it now and set it aside and let it dry. If you give it a good 5-10 minutes, it'll be dry and it won't smear. So I'm just laying this here to kind of give me an idea of where to stamp, that it's going to line up well. And pretty much just close to that edge, you want to stamp it. There's one, and here is number 2. There we go. And let that dry. And I am going to move this, hold on. Oh, my cleaning pad's getting really dirty. I'm going to move both of these way out of my way so that I do not smear them while they dry. There we go. Now back to our envelopes that I have set out here. And the next color we're going to use, which actually we're only using 2 colors on this card, is the So Saffron. So let me get that out and find our flower. We're going to use the little, oh, I'm having a hard time getting that one off of here. There we go. We're going to use a little cluster of 3. And basically just going to kind of use that to fill in the spaces around the bigger flowers. So there, that envelope flap is finished. Set that aside. Where's my other one? Here it is. And you can rotate your flowers around so they're not all facing the same direction. Although so little of them show on this, I don't think that really matters. There you go, envelope number 2, ready to go. And, oh, there's my sample one. Card base, there it is. I'm like, what's next? Now we're just going to add some flowers in here to give it a cluster. I actually did that flower too far over this way. I think it's going to block my thank you when it gets on, but that's alright. Let me try this one. 1, 2, do another one, third one. I think that's good. And I might even put one in here since most of that will be hidden anyway. These flowers are so pretty. They have pretty shading on them. Okay. I think the stamping is finished unless we want, oh, you know what I'm going to do? Because I did not do it on my sample. I'm going to do a little cluster of the yellow flower in the bottom corner of the inside of the card. Like that. There we go. Alright, now put the ink away, get out my paper snips, and I'm going to go ahead and cut out. I'm just going to finish one of these cards for you so you don't have to sit and watch me cut out 2 of these. I should have had one pre-cut and ready to go, but I didn't. I'm just going to cut out one here. Thankfully this isn't a super detailed flower, so fussy cutting isn't too difficult. So I included hot cocoa in your packet for this month. I actually have a mug of hot cocoa right here that I am enjoying because, believe it or not, it's the middle of April and it's snowing outside. Of course, that's, you know, one of the benefits of living here in Wisconsin. We get snow half of the year at least. We had our first super big thunderstorm the other night. We had all the animals in bed with us because they don't like thunderstorms. And whew, the creek was flowing really, really well the next day because we must have got a lot of rain that night. But now it's back to snow again. So, but it won't last long. I don't think we're expected very much today. It won't last too long out there. But it's fun to watch. I know a lot of people here complain about it, but I love watching the snow. Unfortunately, at the moment, I can't watch it because I'm watching what I'm doing. There we go. Almost done. All right. And then hopefully my thank you vellum has already dried so we can start assembling. And I will finish assembling the second card later on. So I'm going to move aside 2 of these and grab my base. Oh, and one of my rich raspberries. And let's go ahead and put this card together. Super easy. We're going to fold on the score line. It's already been scored for you. There we go. Grab my bone folder. And use some Stampin' Seal here on the back. Alright, come on. I know you're there somewhere. There you are. Now I have sticky finger. And center those 3 sides. And then as long as I cut properly, it should line up. Oh, I went crooked. I went crooked. I did it. I went crooked. Let's try again. Generally speaking, if you don't push down really hard, you can usually lift it up and try again. There we go. Now I will burnish it down. It's on there nicely. This goes on the inside of our card. So let's get a little bit of adhesive on that. And again, I like to turn mine this way just to make it easy for me to line up these 3 edges. Especially on the inside, because this one here isn't as noticeable if it's off as the other 3 are. Okay, and now let's put the front on. Same thing, get some adhesive on here. Same thing for me, turn it. I don't know, I just like lining it up on the cut side easier than lining it up on the folded side. Now, this one here has a much smaller border than the yellow does, so that is a very tight fit in there. There we go. And now this flower here, I want to give it a little bit of dimension, so I'm just going to take my bone folder and just gonna kind of go all the way around it, curling up the outside edges like that, so that it has just a little bit of movement to it, so it's not flat. I don't know if you can see that very well. And then grab my vellum gently, because I don't know that it's dry all the way, and it is going to go here, and then my flower is going to go there. So where my flower is where the adhesive is going to go on the vellum. If you put the vellum anywhere over here, it's going to, or the adhesive anywhere else, it's going to show. So you only want it to be underneath that flower. So I'm going to take that, and what do I do with my, oh, there it is. And I'm just going to put a little bit of adhesive right there. Figure out where I want this. Again, I'm trying not to touch that ink right now because I don't know that it's dry yet. There. And then put a little of adhesive on the back of this. You can use glue dots if you want. You can use liquid glue. But I'm only putting it in the very center because, again, I want those edges to lift up. And there we go. Oh, come here. There is our finished card with a finished envelope. Project number 1 done. Yay! So I will be back again next Tuesday with project number 2, which is this pretty card right here. Alrighty? Until then, God's love and blessings to you. Bye.